Hello, hello, hello. My name's Elder, and welcome back to The Open Debate. If you're tuning in the morning, afternoon, the evening, whenever you happen to be here, thank you for joining us. We welcome you to The Open Debate. This is a place for discussions. People can get together, have the hard talks that aren't always open to the mainstream media. Okay, so what are we getting into today, guys? Well, Chick-fil-A is still in the news. Recently, Chick-fil-A came to Canada, opened up its first store in Toronto, and there were mad protesters everywhere. I think that everybody that is subscribed to this channel would already be fully aware of this situation. So what could possibly be new in this story? Well, first of all, there are still lineups around the corner for people who want to eat at Chick-fil-A at this new first location, which is pretty cool, pretty interesting. I still haven't been able to get out there myself, but perhaps I will make a video on trying Chick-fil-A for the first time if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. Anyways, what are we talking about today? Well, apparently there has been an opinion piece, right? Keep that in mind, an opinion piece put out by the Toronto Star, which is a large publication here in Canada, with the title, "Chick-fil-A is ideologically opposed to my existence." Okay, come on now. We'll see how this person feels. I'm going to read you the article, but hey, how's it going there, Lee? Liam Mills, thanks for joining us in the chat. Chick-fil-A, I think, is going to do pretty well here in Canada, just judging by the way it's been going so far, and I don't think that they're going to bend the knee to all of these protesters, but we'll have to see what comes of it. Before we get started, if you want to help support the channel, you can always donate through Streamlabs and have a message pop up on screen. Also, just share the video, like the video, comment, everything. Having the community build is one of the best ways to help support the channel, and I appreciate every single one of you, so thank you very much. Links are in the description below, and you all know how to chat and type in the chat, so go ahead and let's hear your comments, guys. Thanks for that, Leah. So yeah, we're gonna get into this now and just see what this person's actually talking about. Chick-fil-A, ideologically opposed to the existence of gay people, apparently. That's the only thing I can assume is they're speaking about. This past weekend, I saw something that made me unexpectedly queasy. A young woman slurping a soda out of a fast food cup. It upset me because it was a Chick-fil-A cup. Chick-fil-A is an anti-LGBTQ2 organization, not just because the founder publicly opposed same-sex marriage. He believed in the biblical definition of marriage, which doesn't exist, but because company profits are donated to charities that oppress and marginalize queer people, especially queer youth. Young queer people are unusually vulnerable to depression and suicidal thoughts. They often struggle to find support in their own communities and even in their own families. They're not miserable because they're queer. They're miserable because of the stigmatization of queerness by family, church, and society has left them lonely and ostracized. They're miserable because people will not accept them and love them, and because the people they should be able to turn to are often the most likely to harass, harm, and abuse them. LGBTQ2 activists protested Chick-fil-A's opening on Friday, but people were happy to cross the protest line. Some also tried to tell the protesters that they weren't bad people. A lady yelled, "You think I'm homophobic? I have gay friends." One man told me he voted for Trudeau. A smirking guy hiding behind a large sunglasses insisted that McDonald's is just as bad. I've devoted much of my life to advocating for media that allows queer kids to see themselves represented. It is important to me, as someone who knows the struggle of growing up queer, and as someone who took to heart lessons of love and kindness from my Christian upbringing. The folks at Chick-fil-A took a different lesson. Buy a meal from the kitchen, or what? The folks at Chick-fil-A took a different lesson. Buy a meal from them, and they'll use your money to increase the suffering of queer kids. We know that moral purity is impossible in the capitalist society. Every week, you're spending money in ways that harm the environment, spread political strife, and empower the greedy and corrupt. We all make difficult choices. This one isn't difficult. I will not support a company that is ideologically opposed to my existence, and that uses the money spent there to campaign against my existence. If I really want fried chicken, there are more than a dozen places to get some within a 10-minute walk of Chick-fil-A. Downtown Toronto is the Vatican City of fried chicken, okay? Of course, people are not just going to Chick-fil-A to eat fried chicken. They're eating fried chicken spitefully. They're defiantly standing in line with all the other free thinkers because they've been asked not to. They know that going to Chick-fil-A hurts queer people, but they've never thought much about queer people before, and they're not going to start now. It's a strange form of identity politics where the identity is a-hole. The line to get into Chick-fil-A is the a-hole pride parade. We're never going to chase Chick-fil-A out of town. In Donald Trump's America, it's a huge success. A huge success. The number 3 restaurant chain in the country. It's going to be huge in Toronto too. The first location is on the edge of the queer village, on the route of the Pride Parade, but other locations will follow. We can't shut it down, but if we make enough noise, and if enough people stay away, we might convince it to change its practices and stop hurting queer kids. In the meantime, we'll see that logo everywhere. Its meaning is clear as a red hat. Those cups and wrappers will serve as evidence of how cheap our existence is. A sign that we're easily dismissed if we come between people and their lunch. Queer kids' lives are worthless to them and the wrappers they toss out. Chick-fil-A has released a poison into this city that tells queer people we're less than welcome here. We're less safe. We're always surrounded by people who hate us. But now those people can show us how easily, how thoughtlessly they reach their hate. The more they see each other, the more empowered they will be. Hate against queer people is going to increase in this city because folks can't walk 500 feet to Popeyes. Okay, watch where you step. Chick-fil-A trash is all over these streets. My God. That's actually how it ends. That's literally how the piece ends. This reads like an actual satire. It ends, watch where you step. Chick-fil-A trash is all over these streets. You'll never be safe again. Activists are so butthurt that Chick-fil-A is in Toronto and that it's doing well. I'll tell you right now, I'm really just doing the stream to give a little update and show the insanity of the area that I'm in. It's pretty crazy. If you think that the United States is bad for the indoctrination of SJW principles, come to Canada and see how pushed in your face everything is. This is a mainstream publication. And yeah, so it's not only just through articles like this that the media is trying to push this idea that Chick-fil-A is terrible and that it shouldn't be in Toronto. Prominent blogs like BlogTO here on Facebook, which they cover a lot of restaurants in Toronto and just like a lot of news that's going on in the city. They put out this taste test of different chicken sandwiches, and it's only 3 minutes, so we're gonna watch it real quick. But it just puts into perspective the bias that they have against Chick-fil-A. So when you watch this, tell me if you notice anything off.
All right, folks, D here. So as you know, I recently got to check out the grand opening of Chick-fil-A, and it got me thinking, how does their chicken sandwich stack up against others in the city? So today, I'm gonna try 5 different chicken sandwiches blindfolded to find which one I like the most. All right, sandwich number 1. I came hungry, so let's dig into this thing. See, I think it's very important, you know, your bun to chicken ratio, and this one is perfect. So the bun is definitely different. It doesn't feel like your standard bun. I'm feeling it right now, and there's some holes and gaps in here. The sauce doesn't really stick out to me. It was more the chicken than anything that stuck out to me. It's a good chicken sandwich. I like it. I'm very impressed. Whatever this is, it's good. Okay, so this is chicken sandwich number 2. They said be careful, so I feel like I'm feeling it right now, and it feels like a big load here. Ooh. Oh, okay. I break my jaw here. A little sweeter. And this chicken is definitely a lot more crispier than the first one. I think more effort and time is spent inside and the actual condiments and the food. And like I said, there's clearly a lot of stuff in here. Chicken sandwich number 3. I don't know where the camera is. Okay. Ooh. This is a little lighter than definitely lighter than the second one. I could have a couple of these, but I don't I feel like if I were to get a chicken sandwich, I'd want something that was more filling. This one doesn't even feel like it has any veggies in it, or condiments or anything that's in there. I'd probably rank this my second favorite. I like to get my hands a little messy when I'm eating a chicken sandwich, and this seems very clean cut and pretty simple. All right, chicken sandwich number 4. I'm getting a little lethargic now already. It's got a lot of meat to it, and let's find out. Has a good balance between tender and crispy, and this sauce is definitely a little more sweeter. It has no kick to it.
Do you think this is Chick-fil-A?
Chicken sandwich number 5. Let's do this. Okay. I don't think I'd put this in my top 3. And the toppings don't seem to hit the right chord here. I almost feel like the bun overwhelms the chicken. On the chicken front, the chicken's good. But again, I'm not having the full experience with this chicken right now. I'm a little underwhelmed right now. All right, so my favorite sandwich today, I think I gotta go with number 4.
And I'm just going to pause it there because we don't really need to go about and see what he says, because clearly he doesn't like Chick-fil-A the most. But when you look at those 5 chicken sandwiches, what do you notice? Does anybody realize that these are literally gourmet chicken sandwiches? And then you have what looks like a McChicken. If you had this next to a McChicken, next to a Wendy's value chicken sandwich, right? Okay, you are not stacking these up correctly. Clearly trying to just push an agenda where Chick-fil-A has no chance to win. Couldn't you just have done it honestly and just even just made a fake video and had him not choose the Chick-fil-A? Clearly I can make up my own mind and be well, there's no way that Chick-fil-A sandwich is going to win. I think it just shows the bias that's being pushed forth and how they're trying to... The media is trying to convince people that Chick-fil-A isn't even worth going to and trying because it's a terrible anti-LGBTQ plus AI to alphabet subject, whatever letter you would like. And being pro-Christian doesn't make you anti-LGBTQAI plus to whatever you would like to interject in there with your letters. Just because I have certain beliefs doesn't mean I disvalue. Doesn't mean I think that you're not a person or that your existence isn't valid. These people, some individuals, it's not everybody, right? Obviously, it's not everybody, but this individual person, Andrew Wheeler, it shows the mindset that certain individuals have that's so far off the rails. It's not even in reality that queer people's lives are now at risk, that the line to Chick-fil-A is the a-hole pride parade, right? What is going on here? In Donald Trump's America? We live in Canada, you dumb, crazy person. We're never going to chase Chick-fil-A out of town. Right? It's an interesting topic to me. Just thought I'd bring it up to you guys and see how you all felt, and if you thought that people are kind of blowing this out of proportion. By people, I mean LGBTQAI plus 2 alphabet activists. That's the word, alphabet activists. They're the ones that are blowing it out of proportion. Or if they're not, if you think that Chick-fil-A is a homophobic restaurant that needs to be chased out of town and change their ways. I thought I'd bring it up to the community and give you a little update on what was happening with Chick-fil-A here in Toronto. With that being said, I'm going to end it there. Pass it over to you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like I said before, if you want to help support the channel, sharing, liking, commenting on the videos, that is the best way you can help this channel and this community grow. Join us over on Discord, like Lee said in the chat. We always are having a good discussion over there, so links will be in the description below. With that being said, I'm passing the bar over to you guys. My name's Elder. This has been the Open Debate. Be your own hero, kids.